and welcome to this very special video of Harper Broadcast. We have with us Jitendra Dixit, author of our new release 35 Days. This is a very special book and a very special occasion because despite the ongoing coronavirus situation and crisis, Jitendra is here with us. And he is, standing at. Where are you standing, Jitendra? Please tell us about it.
Swati, right now I'm at CSMT railway station, which is a big landmark of Mumbai, and I'm here for some reporting purpose. But I thought of taking this as a backdrop to talk about my book also, because most of the happenings which have been put in the book have happened in Mumbai, and this building is one of the major landmark of Mumbai. It symbolizes Mumbai, so I thought it will be a good backdrop for our discussion, Swati.
Right, and this is just to let our audience know that a little bit about your book. Your book 35 Days. The reason it's called 35 Days is because it looks at the political events that took place in the period of 35 days between the announcement of the results of the assembly elections in Maharashtra and the formation of the government. So in the state. So Jitendra, tell me that this was a political drama that the entire country actually followed, not just people in Maharashtra or Mumbai or people who were in the state or who voted. We all followed this drama. So why did you think that there was a need for this particular book?
Right, Swati. The title of my book is 35 Days, How Politics in Maharashtra Changed Forever in 2019. So
Yes.
This book is about those 35 days which followed the declaration of Vidhan Sabha election results. So during these days, whatever had happened in the politics of Maharashtra, that was historic. Nobody had expected that such kind of events will happen in this state of Maharashtra. So, as a journalist, when I was covering these events, I thought that whatever is happening, I don't know whether this will happen again. And I thought of documenting it because whatever had happened was historic, and I thought we must come out with a book on this. And second motivation was that there were so many things happening behind the curtains, which are not in public domain. And people wanted to know. I had got many calls during the course of this fiasco when this was going on. So what exactly is the real story? But there were so many things which were happening behind the cameras. And I, being a witness of those events, I thought of putting those things in a book. And that is the second motivation why I decided to write this book, Swati.
Yeah, one of the most, there was a lot of speculation at that time about why things were happening, why the alliance between the Shiv Sena and the BJP had broken. Is it true that it was over the rotation of the CM's position, or was there something else also going on behind the scenes?
Well, Swati, the CM's question was one of the reasons why the alliance broke, why these both parties divorced. There were so many other causes which were piling up over the years. There were many underlying causes which were piling up since past 3 to 4 years. And while describing those causes, I have listed, I can say on camera, there are 2-3 reasons. Like there was one Rane factor, like BJP's proximity with Narayan Rane, that was making Shiv Sena uncomfortable. Secondly, the growing clout of BJP in Mumbai Mahanagar Palika, in the municipal corporation, that was also making Shiv Sena uneasy. Then the bureaucratic control of Devendra Fadnavis in the government, that was another cause of dispute between the two parties, and there were many other reasons. So I have gone through all those reasons in detail and have explained how the question of CM was just one of the causes. That was the immediate cause, but there were so many other causes which led to divorce between these two parties. Swati.
So one of the things that I think really caused everybody to, pause and look at the situation again was the fact that the Congress came in, and the fact that the Shiv Sena and the Congress were, I think this was a historical moment, because these two parties, which had until then seemed ideologically extremely different, were now coming together to form, the government. So. But at that point, the top leadership of the Congress was not really. I mean, Rahul Gandhi was not really visible on the scene.
Yeah.
So why was that, and what really happened? How did the Congress come in, and how did that happen?
Exactly, Swati. It was shocking for everybody how Congress had decided to come along with the Shiv Sena to form the government, because these two parties were staunch enemies of each other. And since past 3 decades, there was so much of mudslinging against each other, and there were controversies between the two parties, that nobody ever believed that such two parties will come together. But after discussions with Sonia Gandhi, it was Sharad Pawar who convinced Sonia Gandhi to form the government along with Shiv Sena. And Pawar convinced Gandhi that, we have an opportunity. You are number 4th party in the state, but there is an opportunity to come into the power. So why not utilize this opportunity? So Sonia Gandhi agreed, but her son Rahul was not willing. And this can be explained with the fact that whenever a delegation from Maharashtra, senior leaders of Maharashtra, when they went to Delhi for discussions on government formation in Maharashtra, they sought time from Rahul Gandhi. But Rahul Gandhi never met them. When he got to know that these people want to discuss government formation in Maharashtra along with Shiv Sena, so he never met them. And this shows that Rahul Gandhi was not in favor of this government. Not only Rahul Gandhi, but there are many other senior leaders belonging to his camp in Congress, like Sanjay Nirupam. They also gave statements which were against Shiv Sena, and they were also opposed going along with Shiv Sena to form the government.
So so what you're essentially saying is that the government was formed. I mean, Congress participated in the government formation without actually Rahul Gandhi's consent, but Sonia Gandhi was obviously on board. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened.
Initially, even Sonia Gandhi was not ready. But
right.
Somehow Sharad Pawar met him twice or thrice, and Sharad Pawar was able to convince her that we have been out of power since past 5 years, and today we have an opportunity. Your party has not done well in the elections. You are number 4. So why not utilize this opportunity? Shiv Sena is willing to come along with you. So you should also extend your hands and get into government in Maharashtra.
And of course, how this exactly happened is something that we read about in your book. Also, do you think that the BJP Shiv Sena alliance could have been saved if if the Prime Minister himself had intervened, or if the Home Minister had intervened at that point? So was there any hope, or was it a hopeless situation?
If you look at the past history of Shiv Sena, whenever some dispute arose between Shiv Sena and BJP, so some senior leader from the central leadership of BJP used to intervene, speak to Uddhav Thackeray or Bala Saheb Thackeray when he was alive, and then everything was sorted out, and things went well. But today there is no such leader who can mediate, who can intervene from the side of BJP to pacify Shiv Sena. That was one factor. Secondly, what BJP failed to understand was that Shiv Sena has changed. The culture of Shiv Sena has changed. It is not the same old Shiv Sena which used to show tantrums and then join hands and then get pacified if somebody, some senior leader from the center leadership from BJP called up or visited Matoshri. So it was not that old Shiv Sena. So that is one reason. Secondly, what had happened was when Shiv Sena had decided that it will break away from BJP, at that time Amit Shah, who was party president, and PM Modi, they did not intervene. This was due to the fact that initially Amit Shah was not very much willing to go to polls in alliance with Shiv Sena. He was opposing it, but Devendra Fadnavis insisted that we should forge an alliance with Shiv Sena and fight elections together. So it was on his insistence. But when this fiasco happened, Fadnavis was left to fend for himself, and Amit Shah did not intervene. At the same time, you will see that the results of Haryana had also been declared. But Amit Shah was more interested in forming government in Haryana rather than in Maharashtra. He did not speak a single word when this process was going on. And he did not speak even to media, not even to people in Shiv Sena. And if there is a general belief here in the political circles that if any of the two, either Modi or Shah, would have called up Uddhav Thackeray, things would have been very different. Swati.
Yes, right. And one of the most shocking incidents happened on the early morning of 23rd November 2019, which was when all of a sudden Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar, I mean, while all these, conversations were going on, suddenly Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar took oath of office. In what seemed like a coup. So, what does your book reveal about that?
Then Ajit Pawar met Devendra Fadnavis on the evening preceding the oath ceremony. As per Devendra Fadnavis, Ajit Pawar gave him an impression that Sharad Pawar has okayed him to form government with BJP. That means he made an impression before Devendra Fadnavis that whatever is happening is in the knowledge of Sharad Pawar and it is with his approval. And to convince more, Ajit Pawar made a few of his supporting MLAs speak to Devendra Fadnavis. So Devendra Fadnavis got convinced that whatever is happening with the support of Sharad Pawar, and he agreed to form the government. And then they spoke to Fadnavis spoke to their senior leaders in the BJP, and then they contacted Raj Bhavan for taking oath. Swati.
Okay, and but there is that moment, right, where Sharad Pawar gets an offer from the Prime Minister himself to form a government with them. But despite that, he chooses not to take that offer and to form a government with the Shiv Sena. So why do you think that happened? What was happening, behind the scenes at that point?
That's true. Sharad Pawar himself revealed in an interview with my news channel that he was offered by PM Modi to get into an alliance in Maharashtra and form the government together. But Sharad Pawar had declined it. The main reason which is believed for this decision was that Sharad Pawar thought that if he is getting into an alliance with BJP, then BJP will be influencing the decision making in government, and BJP will be a dominant party. But instead of BJP, if he is forging an alliance with the Shiv Sena and forming the government, then things will be under his control, and Uddhav Thackeray will listen to him, and ultimately the remote control of the government will be in his hands, like it used to be in the hands of late Balasaheb Thackeray when Shiv Sena had come into power in 1995. At that time, Manohar Joshi was the chief minister, but the power rested in hands of Balasaheb Thackeray. In the same manner, Sharad Pawar, it is believed that he thought that when if the government between the tri-party alliance comes into the power, so everything will be under his control and he will be able to influence the decision making.
So one of the things that I've been asked is, of course, the cover is very striking, and I hope all our viewers are looking at the cover right now in your hand. One of the things I've been asked is, why is Raj Thackeray on the cover when he was not really a part of a lot of the shenanigans that were happening at that time? So this was something we had discussed. So do you want to disclose that right now? What the thinking behind that? Yeah.
I'll briefly talk about it. See, in this cover, you can see a picture of Raj Thackeray also here. The thing is, any story about contemporary Maharashtra politics is incomplete without Raj Thackeray. Although number-wise, he's not doing well. In 2014, he got just one seat. In 2019 Vidhan Sabha elections also, he just got one seat. But he's a great crowd puller. He's a big orator. And in every elections, you will see he does some kinds of innovations to make a political point. So Raj Thackeray, in this particular case, since this is a story of how politics in Maharashtra changed forever. So if we talk about Raj Thackeray, so during these 35 days, what had happened is Shiv Sena has went soft on Hindutva, and Raj Thackeray saw that there is a space because Shiv Sena is not aggressively pursuing Hindutva right now. So he saw that he can step into that space and he can capitalize on that. So Raj Thackeray, who was till now following militant Marathi political agenda, went soft on that and decided to take up Hindutva as his party's agenda. So he relaunched his party's flag, and he said now his new ideology will be Hindutva. He said Hindutva is in my DNA. So this led to change in Raj Thakray's politics also. So that is why you can see Raj Thackeray on the cover page of my book.
Yes, because your book is obviously a wider take on how politics changed, and not just about the political drama in those days, but it looks at the larger picture also. So that's a fair point. How long do you think the government is going to survive? I'm sure you speculate about that a lot, but what do you think today? I mean, given this whole coronavirus crisis and all that has happened, things have changed a lot, in the last couple of months for everybody. So, what do you think the future is going to be for this particular government?
Right, Shadi, so many people are asking me the same question that how long do you think this government will survive? See, after this government was formed on 20th November last year, there have been so many issues where all the three parties have fought amongst themselves. One issue was of Citizenship Amendment Act. Then Rahul Gandhi spoke something about Veer Savarkar. So that was another issue. There were 2-3 more issues which cropped up between these three parties. But ultimately, what we saw was Sharad Pawar intervened, and whatever the differences were there, they were finished off, and the party and the government was running smoothly. Now, I asked the same question to a senior leader from NCP who is part of the government. So he just replied in one sentence. I asked him, क्या लगता है आपको कब तक ये सरकार चलेगी? So he said, long live Sharad Pawar. Till the time Sharad Pawar is in the control of the government, this government will run. And he believes that this government will complete its tenure of 5 years. Swati.
That's saying a lot, actually, both about Sharad Pawar and about the government. But thank you so much, Jitendra. I think unless there's a point you want to make right now, I think we've had a very, very stimulating discussion, and I sincerely feel all our readers will, go and at least at the moment download the ebook. But the physical copies will be very soon in all the stores. So I hope all our readers will go and look out for 35 days.